remember when Danzo and Orochimaru somewhat fucked up on the cloning process of making Hashirama clone? Or the next Hashirama? So, for today's video, we're going to be talking about what if Danzo made the perfect Hashirama clone and he was the secret and the ace of the Hidden Leaf Village. Now, we're going to go back from when Madara and Hashirama had their last fight together, and Madara taking in some of Hashirama's cells into his mouth, gaining and later on awakening his Rinnegan. Now, during this time, Hashirama had been long dead, and you would think, since Madara and Hashirama face implant on his side of his chest, and that Hashirama would have been able to sense his presence somehow. Now, fast forward over some years later, when Danzo and Orochimaru was experimenting with Hashirama's cells in order to create the perfect copy of the original Hashirama. So in this case, Danzo and Orochimaru would have succeeded in making a perfect copy of Hashirama and would have used him as a secret Ambu Black Ops member. Now, the copy of Hashirama would have had some of his memories altered and would have only been programmed to kill Uchihas and anything that threatens the Leaf Village. Danzo would have secretly sent out Hashirama to areas that was close to the village for information regarding Itachi Uchiha. Now, I would say that the clone of Hashirama wouldn't have had Sage Mode, but it's just his basic stuff, you know. Because Danzo in the Naruto series had signed to carry out an assassination order on Sasuke and sealed his tongue for any loose information. Now, the clone version of Hashirama would have found Kizumi and Itachi and fights them both. Now, Itachi is forced to flee, stating that Danzo is the one who placed an assassin onto him, so he remains hidden for a while. Because, in honesty, if you had a clone of Hashirama and he fought up against Itachi, Itachi wouldn't have been able to win. Against the clone of Hashirama, he had his basic stuff, Itachi wouldn't have won. I'm telling you right now, Itachi would have won. Now, I understand, like, a lot of Itachi fans out there probably would disagree, but Hashirama clone, not possible. Now, Danzo still would have been scheming after Sarutobi's death to become the Hokage, but then later on, he would have had to fight against Sasuke. Obito would have later tell Sasuke the truth, but also telling him that Danzo sent out an assassin to kill Itachi earlier before anything else would have gotten out. Sasuke would have been fighting against Hashirama as slowly but surely Hashirama's memory started to flow back into his mind, and he remembers fighting against Madara, as vague memories of him being used as a lab rat, and also vaguely remembers of him performing orders to kill people by Danzo. Hashirama stops fighting Sasuke and goes after Danzo. Danzo is enraged on what happened and fights both Sasuke and Hashirama. Danzo is defeated and Sasuke is staring a hole through Hashirama, as Hashirama can't believe what happened as he continues his fight with Sasuke. They both fight for a little bit until Kakashi comes over and sees the first Hokage alive and is fighting against Sasuke. Obito takes Sasuke away due to the fact that he's starting to go blind, and he kind of sees Naruto for like a little bit until that's when he like disappears and stuff. And I would say that the Hashirama clone would have been around like during the war, just for like a little bit, and would have fought in Madara first. But yeah, Madara still would have just destroyed everybody, but he would have basically fought up against Hashirama for like a little bit, you know. Until like, you know, later on, that's when his cells will probably like slowly but surely start to like break down and stuff. You know, that's how I probably would see it. And then Hashirama sees the will of fire in Naruto and knows that one day he will become the Hokage and the future of the village. And I think this would have been the best outlook for the clone version of Hashirama, because Yamamoto sucked. Because he couldn't even stop Naruto when he was fighting against Pain and almost went Nine Tails. He got captured by the enemy and was used to fight for them like, wow, this dude was garbage. But in this case, I would prefer that they made a perfect clone of Hashirama, a perfect killing machine that went out and killed people under Danzo's orders, and would have met up with Naruto and had a brief talk with him before he died. Because Danzo feared the Uchiha clan, and even after their deaths, he took their power, he took their eyes and utilized their power, hopefully for one day he would have that fight against Itachi. You know, because, you know, Itachi probably would have came back to the village if anything happened to Sasuke as promised. You know, he would have leaked out information about the Veils and probably would have went back to kill Danzo. So that's how it would have gone, and nobody wouldn't have known about the Hashirama clone. Even when Tsunade was Hokage, she wouldn't have known either. Only time when she would have known was after Danzo's death and when she saw the real Hashirama on the battlefield fighting against the Ten Tails. You know, because the thing is, like I said before, you know, Yamamoto sucked. Yamamoto sucked hard because it was like, you know, he was a clone, but he didn't have much. You know, he didn't really have much and stuff. You know, like the good stuff kind of happened after Naruto Shippuden when Orochimaru had his son Mitsuki and he was able to learn Sage Mode. And you would think that Yamamoto could have learned Sage Mode, but I guess that technology wasn't really good back then, so they was only able to make the clone, but hoping that they would have made the perfect clone. So in this case, it would have only made sense that if, in this what if theory, that, or what if story, they could have made like the perfect clone, and Hashirama was that clone, the perfect killing machine. He just went out, Danzo ordered him to kill people, he would have killed people, and he would have been able to conceal like most of his jutsu. So like him able to like use wood style, it would have been to like a small degree. I wouldn't have said he would have been able to do like a lot, even though he could have, but he would have tried to conceal that so that way nobody would know all that he can do and stuff, because he wanted to keep it under wraps, you know, because he is the ace of everything, you know. Because when Kakashi was in the ambush, yeah, he did do stuff, but Danzo didn't really care about him that much. He just wanted his Sharingan, because he was like, oh, your Sharingan will provide further use to me, not to you. So Kakashi had to get up out of there because Danzo was crazy. So it would only make sense for Danzo to have Hashirama as an Ambu Black Ops member, like I said, just going around killing people. And the only time he would able to get some sort of memory back is if he was to fight Sasuke, and Sasuke will be the one jogging his memories as he's like, okay, I remember fighting against Madara, and then at a certain point I do remember dying. You know, those like vague memories would start to like resurface back into his mind, and he's like, yeah, I do remember this. And then after for a while, slowly but surely, he would like deteriorate. You know, like he's just a clone, but he's not like the perfect clone. Like he would deteriorate, because when you see Yamamoto, I was hoping that he would have died or just deteriorated on the battlefield, but in this case, it would have been Madara fighting up against like the clone version of Hashirama, and then he would have been like, something's off. And it probably would have pissed him off to know that this is like a clone version of him and it's not the actual him, but they cloned him anyway. It might have pissed him off, but it might have made him happy. But you know, Madara is like a sick bastard, so you know, we don't know what that man is thinking at times. But yeah. I think that's how it probably would have went in those cases and stuff. So we're gonna end the video here. If you like what you heard, you like, you know, please subscribe, share, you know, do all that wonderful stuff, and I catch you later.